राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी 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 यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी 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 जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी 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 जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे जय राधा माधव राधा माधव राधे जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे जय गौरनिताय 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 जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय 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 जय गौरनिताय जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव Gurudev, Gurudev, Jai Jai Gurudev. Harinam Sankirtan Devi Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. All glories to Assembled Devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Assembled Devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Assembled Devotees, Hare Krishna. So just follow me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. So, new to this class, first time? Welcome. Okay. So you're already very old, right? So today we will discuss about Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1, verse number 39 onwards. So you can take the copy if you don't have. So we'll read verse number 39. So you can repeat after me. Kulakshay pranashyanti kuladharma sanatana dharme nashte kulam krishnam adharmo abhibhavatyuta. Kulakshay pranashyanti kuladharma sanatana dharme nashte kulam krishnam adharmo abhibhavatyuta. Kulakshay pranashyanti kuladharma sanatana dharme nashte kulam krishnam adharmo abhibhavatyuta. So if any one of you wants to recite, if you want to recite, you can. Usually the process is like once, 3 times we recite the shloka and then we give chance to the audience. But we have less time, so we don't go in detail. So any one of you, if you want to recite this shloka, you can. Yes, please. Kulakshay pranashyanti kuladharma sanatana dharme nashte kulam krishnam adharmo abhibhavatyuta. Thank you. So we'll read the translation and the purport. With the destruction of the dynasty, the eternal family tradition is vanquished, and thus the rest of the family becomes involved in irreligion. So purport by Srila Prabhupada. In the system of the Varnashram institution, there are many principles of religious traditions to help members of the family grow properly and attain spiritual values. The elder members are responsible for such purifying processes in the family, beginning from birth to death. Beginning from birth to death. But on the death of the elder members, such family traditions of purification may stop, and the remaining younger family members may develop irreligious habits and thereby lose their chance for spiritual salvation. Therefore, for no purpose should the elder members of the family be slain. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurumritam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinavine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatari. So in this chapter, especially in this section of Bhagavad Gita, we could see Arjuna giving so many reasons not to fight this battle. The first reason he gave, that is because of compassion to the near and dear ones. And the second reason, he said, what kind of happiness will I get if my near and dear ones are not there? Based on the happiness, no enjoyment. So that is the second reason. And the third reason we discussed last time, that was sinful reaction. So if I kill them, it will incur sinful reaction. So any sane people or intelligent people, when they act, when they do anything, they see the pros and cons of that. Right? So Arjuna is doing the same thing. First he is calculating everything. And now he is giving fourth reason, which is very, very solid reason. You will be convinced with it. So the fourth reason what he is giving, he is saying, with the destruction of the dynasty, the eternal family tradition is vanquished. Because in this battlefield, all the elderly people, they are assembled here in this battlefield. What will happen when these elderly people will not be there in family? What is the responsibility of elderly people in family?
To show the right path.
Yes, to follow the tradition, to follow the religious principle, giving them right guidance to the family members, subordinates. So that is the responsibility. That family, elderly people means leader of the family. If they will not be there, then what will be the consequence of that? So he is calculating now. He is saying, if they will not be there, then what will happen? Family tradition is vanquished. What is family tradition? So in Bhagavad Gita, we will study about it. Like Krishna says that Chatur Varna Maya Srishtam Gunakarma Vibhagasham. So Krishna, he has made this system. This is social order, 4 social order, Varnashram. You must have heard about it, right? Varna and Ashram. There are 4 Varnas and 4 Ashram for that. So Varna is like we see Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. And similarly 4 Ashram is there. Grihastha, first is Brahmacharya, then Grihastha, and then Vanprastha and Sannyas. So this is made by God himself. And most of the people in this time, because of not having proper understanding about this system, they criticize it in the name of casteism. And especially India is known for it. They criticize that in India there is discrimination in the name of casteism. And that is truth. Because even people following this system, they don't have right understanding. And this system was given by God himself for a better society. So if you have proper understanding, what this exactly, this is not based on birth. Krishna is saying Guna Karma Vibhagasha. So this classification is not based on birth. It is based on guna, qualities, action. It's not like if somebody is taking birth in a doctor family, he will become doctor, isn't it? I mean, do you see any this? Without qualification, no one can become doctor. But here what we see in Varnashram, if somebody is taking birth in a Brahmin family, he is called, or he claims to be a Brahmin. Whether he is following the principle, the rules and regulations or not, but he claimed to be a Brahmin. But Krishna is saying this system is not based on birth. But this system is based on qualification, right? So different qualifications are there. When we say Brahmana, Brahmana means Pathan Pathan Yajan Yajan. Studying the scripture, giving guidance to the society, right? Intellectual class. Brahman means intellectual class. And Kshatriya, Kshata iti trayate, one who protects. The duty of Kshatriya is to protect against irreligion, right? So Kshatriya class means administrative class. We are just simplifying it to understand. It's not like these four classes are only in India. These four classes required, they are in every place, and they are required to run a better society, a better organization. In any organization, you will find these four classes of people. Intellectual class, like if we take example of organization, CEO, director of the company, what they doing? They are the decision makers, right? Intellectual class. Kshatriya means administrative class, looking after the administrative activities of the society, activities of the organization. And similarly, the third class, that is Vaishya, it means mercantile class, business, the needs of the society they are doing. And the fourth class is called Shudra. Shudra means worker class. So these four classes exist everywhere. That is first. And these four classes are not based on birth, but it's based on qualification, right? So similarly, like business class, what is the duty of business class as per Bhagavad Gita? Krishi Gorakshya Varijyam. Business, farming, producing grains, and protecting cows. Though now it has been replaced. Land, no, now that is, it's now no more cows. Factories are there to produce the needs, right? But these four classes are there. And similarly, example is given, even these four classes, our body is compared to a society. If you compare this body to a social order, you will see these four classes exist in our body also. This head represents the Brahmanas, eyes and mouth, the brain, intellectual class, that is head. And our hands represent to Kshatriya. Belly represents to Vaishya, business class. And our legs represent to worker, Shudra, laborer class, right? Do you see your legs are not important? Your hands not important? Your head? In a complete body, in a complete system, you need all these four, right? But of course, like Brahmana, intellectual class, that is very important. Very important. Without Brahmanas or without intellectual class, rest of the body will not work. If your intelligence is not working, then the whole system will be disturbed. And that's why these four classes, this system, Varnashram system, was meant for a systematic development or for a better society. And what is the purpose of these classification or this kind of system? Advancement. So that everyone, they cooperate each other for a purpose. Swanusthtistasya dharmasya samsiddhir haritoshanam. In Srimad Bhagavatam it is mentioned. What is the purpose of different varna and ashram or people in any class? What is the ultimate purpose? Either somebody is Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya or Shudra. The objective is samsiddhir haritoshanam. Serving the Lord. Spiritual salvation, which is mentioned over here. Whatever we are doing, end purpose is salvation. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So in Varnashram, we see all these things. So end result, end purpose of this system is salvation or serving the Lord. So that is the purpose. And in this system, we see so many samskaras, so many, especially this system is known as purificatory process. Why rules and regulations? For Brahman, there are rules and regulations. Kshatriyas, rules and regulations. Vaishyas, Shudras, different rules and regulations are there in Vedic scriptures. And the purpose is not to exploit, but The purpose is to make them advance in spiritual consciousness at whichever stage they are in, right? So, the purificatory process, like different samskara I'm talking about, from birth to the death, you will see different samskaras are there in scriptures. Even before birth, there is a samskar. You know about it? Garbhadhan samskar. Have you heard about it? Will not go in detail, but these are the different rituals, different samskar, which gives a big impact on the consciousness of the child. Garbhadhan samskar. Before even pregnancy, there's a samskar, so that good child take place, just to take birth. Good soul should take place in body. And similarly, so many, even after birth, we see so many samskaras are there. Annapras samskar, Namkaran samskar, or Yagyopavit samskar. Even Vivaha is samskar. It's a ritual. Vivaha samskar. And finally we see death, final, last rites. So all these are different purificatory processes. And it is suggested that one should follow these rules and regulations. Right? And this is what the dharma, Kula dharma, Jati dharma, Kula dharma, Jati dharma, these are all based on scriptures. It's not like in today's time we see just mental concoction. Some political people, due to their political reason, they are starting any kind of religion. That is not Kula dharma and Jati dharma. Dharma which is mentioned in scripture with a purpose, and the purpose is to purify the consciousness, to advance in spiritual consciousness. We see so many rituals coming out. Chocolate day. These are not scripture based, just some business class to promote their business, some political people, right? And you see the people, how they are following, without knowing the reason, without knowing the purpose, just following the rituals. And that's why young people, they are going away from scriptures or going away from dharma, because they see all nonsense they are doing. Without understanding, just loud sound, with drinking, doing all kinds of nonsense activity. And that's why people are going away from dharma. So we have to understand that these dharma, the process which is there in scripture, it is meant with a purpose, and we should sincerely follow that. And that's what it is mentioned over here, that if elderly people, this is the responsibility of elderly people to make sure that all the rituals, traditions are being followed. Right? If they will not be there, if they don't take care, then what will happen? What will be the consequence? Family becomes involved in irreligion. If religion is not there, then irreligion will take place. And what will be the consequence of irreligion? Irreligion means all these sorts of nonsense happening, right? So he's saying, Adharma abhibhavat Krishna pradushyanti kulistriya stri shudushta suvarshneya jayate varna sankara. When you see the root cause, when irreligion is prominent in the family, O Krishna, the women of the family become polluted. And from the degradation of womanhood, O descendant of Vrishni, comes unwanted progeny. Nobody thinks about it. The root, where from it is starting. So Prabhupada is writing in purport, good population in human society is the basic principle for peace, prosperity and spiritual progress in life. The Varnashram religion's principles were to design that good population would prevail in society for the general spiritual progress of a state and the community. And such population depends on the chastity and faithfulness of its womanhood. Right? So the point here is that if irreligion is there in family, then what is the consequence of that? Women of the family become polluted. This is very critical and very controversial topic. Yes. See, because irreligion means, if you go through the sentences, you will see, women has been compared as child. Like child, they are supposed to be protected. And that's why in our Vedic system, women, they are always protected in childhood by parents. When they get married, they are protected by a husband. And when they are old, they are protected by a son. And in today's time, you will see people just, even they misinterpret, they present it in a different way. And they say, like, in India, like, women are being controlled. It's not a controlling mentality. Of course, because this system is not there in society and people are misusing this. But if you see the actual system which was meant, that was not for exploitation, not for controlling, but to give protection, to love and to take care of the society and the family members. That was the ultimate purpose. So women, because they are very sensitive, they are very soft-hearted in general. These are the different characteristics of women. And that's why they are supposed to be under some shelter, some guidance, some care. Right? People exploit it. And what happens? What is the result of that exploit? And even last sentence, if you see, irresponsible men also provoke adultery in society, and thus unwanted children flood the human race at the risk of war and pestilence. Irresponsible people, even people you will see, they will promote so many things. This topic itself is a very very depth is there. We need lots of discussion in this. We have to understand. So, why this Vedic culture, care is there, protection is there? Because the peace and prosperity of the society, the basic criteria for that is good population. Even if you remember, Napoleon Bonaparte, there is a quotation, give me good mothers, I'll give you a good nation. Have you heard it? Give me good mothers, I'll give you a good nation. What does it mean? Because where from population is coming? The children, they are taking birth from mother. And mother is the first teacher. If the consciousness of mother is not good, then of course the child will not be good conscious. Will not follow the religion. And because of not following the religious principles, we see so much of chaos in society. And this kind of people who doesn't understand religious principles or the purpose of life, they create such kind of irreligious system which creates further chaos in society. In the name of equality, you will see they fight. Men and women both are equal. When Prabhupada was there in USA, America, that time in America, it was and Prabhupada never compromised with principle. Even when he was in America, and this fight was going on, equality, men and women both are equal. And Prabhupada said, no, they are not. See, from a spiritual point of view, we all are equal. We all are soul, part and parcel of God. But when it comes to material form, body, of course, body is different. The man body and women body, both different. They have different functionality. They cannot be equal. We have to understand it. They have different nature altogether. No? Men's brain, they are logical. And women, they are very emotional, very, very soft-hearted. These are the qualities.
But it's
So,
here, women are not as intelligent and therefore not trustworthy also.
I'll come to that point. Again, this is deliberately as of now, because seeing the time, I thought let not get into that, but again I'll explain you everything. See, sometimes when we see the statement, sentences, no, words, we should understand the intent behind it. It's not like whatever is being said, and so many words you will see in Bhagavad Gita, upcoming chapters, which is, you will feel like, my God, why these words are being used for women? But we have to understand the intent behind it. It's not like God, it's not like He is not loving. He does not love women. He does not only, He love only men. It's not like that. Understand the mood behind that. Even in chapters you will see Krishna is praising so much, so many qualities. He's saying, I am. The speech, when we will hear about the opulences, then Krishna is saying, he's just comparing himself to so many things. And he's saying that Dhriti is like the intelligence, speech, patience, all these qualities I am within all these women. I mean, he's just comparing with himself. So the point here is, again, this quotation is from Chanakya Pandit. So Chanakya Pandit, he said, what is that? What is that?
Women are probably not in. It's in the middle of the para. Women are.
Okay, Chanakya Pandit. Women are generally not very intelligent and therefore not trustworthy. So he is talking, again, there is a context. He is talking in context of political situation. Political situation. And again, the point which I gave you, like, very easily they are being exploited. People exploit. Unscrupulous people, they exploit in the name of so many things. And we can see, if you just start observing the society situation right now, because we are following the Western culture, and similarly, understand this point. In Vedic culture, why this gap is there, why this purification or this system is there, system of marriage is there. Because we have some bodily needs, but those bodily needs must be fulfilled in a very regulated way, in a very systematic way. Because we are human beings, right? Rules and regulations are meant for human beings. And now, because people are forgetting these religions, these principles, different samskaras, and now they are involved in so many things. Now, what is that one system which is very much in society now? Living, what do you call it? Living relationship. This is not a Vedic culture. And what do you expect from such kind of system in society? That is what Krishna is saying over here. Arjuna is saying. Unwanted children, Varna Shankara. Varna Shankara means unwanted children. Children who don't follow the system, who don't follow the religious principle. This kind of people will come. They will never bother about all such things. Though it is very hard to accept, but this is the reality and this is the root cause. So when it comes to this kind of a statement, we have to understand this is a general statement. Even Prabhupada, when he talks about, he said, it's not about devotees. Devotees means one who understands the purpose of life, one who understands his or her relation with God. It is not for them. Now we are at a spiritual platform. But in general, women, because of their soft nature, they tend to be exploited by unscrupulous people. That is very, probability is there, chances are there. And that's why it is suggested that too much of mingling, like in Vedic culture, too much of mingling of men and women is not allowed. Srila Prabhupada gives an example that, like, women like fire and men like butter. If they come close, then definitely. So all these are subject matters. Of course, this system is not there in present society. Even the kind of lifestyle we are leading is, even following such rules and regulations is very difficult. We are in co-ed education, we are working together in offices. So it's very difficult to avoid this. I'll come to that point. But this is what the Vedic system. And if these rules and regulations are being followed and everything is in regulation, then definitely good population will take place because they will be cultured, right? So, and that will help society to grow, to advance in a spiritual consciousness. That is what mentioned over here. And if that is not there, the result what is mentioned here, you see, unwanted children flood the human race at the risk of war and pestilence. War and pestilence, all these are the consequences. People fighting for such a small thing without understanding. Always fighting in this age for a small thing. You see every day news, if you hear news, such for a small thing, they are ready to kill. Even in the name of religion. Why you are going from this way? Like dogs barking, why you are coming to my area, right? Similarly, people in the name of religion, they are fighting, killing each other. What is this? So, this is because they don't have culture, they don't have proper understanding why they are following rules and regulations. So, Sankaro Narakayeva Kulagnanam Kulasyacha Patanti Pitaro Hi Yesham Lupta Pindoda Kriya. This is the next consequence. What is that? An increase of unwanted population certainly causes hellish life both for family and for those who destroy the family tradition. So the next result is hellish life. If such kind of, if irreligion is there, unwanted children there, no following religion, then definitely if you are not doing religious, if not following religious principles, doing sinful activities, like in our last class we could see, that will lead us to hellish life. The ancestors of such corrupt families fall down. Ancestors. They will fall down because the performances of offering them food and water are entirely stopped. Pindadan. Watering food and offering food and water. This is called Pindadan. Do we observe these processes now? Now you see many people just forgetting about it. They don't follow this. Pindadan for ancestors. And in this process what happens, like periodical food and water to the forefathers of the family. This is a process. They offer food and water, especially it is prasadam. Prasadam means the food which is offered to Lord Vishnu, sanctified food. When it is offered to the forefathers, they get delivered. Delivered from where? So Prabhupada is mentioning, sometimes because of their sinful activities, forefathers, they are in some hellish place, right? Or in some kind of situation, they are not peaceful there. So this activity is to deliver them from such places or some such kind of painful situations. So he's saying that now when unwanted children, they will not follow this process in religion. So forefathers, okay. The next section we will discuss at the end of this. So point here is what we are discussing about all these different processes in Varnashram system is to help us to purify the consciousness and to help us to lead a better way of life. That is the ultimate purpose. Proper understanding. So nothing here, especially when we are talking about men and women, like in a family, different responsibilities are there. Every individual, if they are fulfilling the responsibility, the purpose is not to compete what you are doing, what I am doing. The purpose in a system, every individual, different activities are there, and every individual, they are taking different roles to accomplish that one objective, right? So because of the kind of educational system we have, now the kind of mindset we have, we are competing with each other. And that will never bring peace to the family, to the society. Right? So this understanding we should have. Even I was going through once somebody was talking about law of attraction. And he was just talking about the men's quality and women's quality. The qualities. And he said, a woman can be happy only when she is with women qualities. So we will, in Bhagavad Gita, so many qualities are there. Like they are very tolerant, they are very patient, and they are soft-hearted, very loving, caring, all these are different qualities of a woman. So when women, with their women qualities, if they will always remain peaceful. So if any women, if they are trying to become like a man, so it was the result that she will not be able to manage a good family, or she will not give a good family. You understand what I'm saying? Maybe the sentence. So a good family means all women, feminine qualities are there. If a woman is means having all these feminine qualities, then she can lead a better family. So anyway, we will come up with such kind of discussions because this will be required. Now the second point, let's see the more consequences. And then after we'll come to the last point. दोषैर एते कुलग्नानां वर्ण संकर कारकै उत्स्यादन्ते जाति धर्मा कुल धर्मा शाश्वता. By the evil deeds of those who destroy the family tradition and thus give rise to unwanted children, all kinds of community projects and family welfare activities are devastated. So this is further consequence. Even the person who is stopping this family tradition, he will go to hell. And all kinds of community projects and family welfare activities are devastated. Right? And we can see this in society, so much of chaos. Why? Why so much of chaos is there? Nobody is following rules and regulations. Utsan kulkar dharmanam manushyanam janadana narke niyatam vaso bhavati uta anushruma. O Krishna, maintainer of the people, I have heard by disciplic succession that those whose family traditions are destroyed dwell always in hell. So now Arjuna is giving a solid reason that I am not saying just because of my mental I am not concocting. Whatever I am saying, I have heard from parampara. Prabhupada is saying this is the process to receive knowledge. It's not like I am just doing some kind of mental concoction. Whatever I am speaking from authority. Parampara, Guru Parampara. Right? So we are also receiving knowledge from Guru Parampara. So he is saying whatever I am saying, that is true. Yes? So there is a system in Varnashram institution by which before death one has to undergo the process of atonement for his sinful activities. One who is always engaged in sinful activities must utilize the process of atonement called prayashchitta. So if we do any kind of sinful activities, there is a process given in Vedic scriptures. So one must follow that process. That is called atonement, prayashchitta. So without doing so, one surely will be transferred to hellish planets to undergo miserable lives as a result of sinful activities. So if we do not do atonement for that, we'll have to go to hellish planets and suffer for our sinful reactions. What is this solution for it? Are we following these processes? Nobody is even aware. So what is the solution? See, of course, this is Vedic process. Unfortunately, because the system is not in place, everything is topsy-turvy. People are not aware even, so there is no question of following. And now, we are coming to know about all these things. Our situation is more miserable now. So what to do in this situation? Prabhupada is giving one solution. Prabhupada is, of course, the scriptures. When this verse number 41, like in purport, Prabhupada is saying, one who is engaged in devotional life is not required to perform such actions. Simply by performing devotional service, one can deliver hundreds and thousands of forefathers from all kinds of misery. It is stated in the Bhagavatam. So this is specifically, he is talking about when we are to Pindadan. Like Pindadan is a ritual. If we means Pindadan is done for a particular ancestor, but what is Srimad Bhagavatam is saying that simply if you become a devotee, then you will deliver not only 1, 2, 3 ancestors, thousands of ancestors will be delivered simply if you become devotee. And the shloka is mentioned over here. This is very interesting. Devarshi bhutapta niranam pitrinam na kinkaro nayam runi charajam sarvatmanaya saranam saranyam gato mukundam parihishyaturto. This is the instruction Narad Muni is giving. What he is saying? You will be free from all kinds of dates. Do you want to be free from all kinds of dates? We all are indebted. How we are indebted, we will come to know about it. Right? We are all indebted. Anyone who has taken shelter of the lotus feet of Mukunda, the giver of liberation, giving up all kinds of obligation, and has taken to the path in all seriousness, owes neither duties nor obligations to the demigods, sages, general living entities, family members, humankind, or forefathers. Such obligations are automatically fulfilled by the performance of devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the purpose of Varnashram system or following the rituals purificatory process is Samsiddhir Haritoshanam, serving the Supreme Lord. That is the ultimate purpose. So when you are already following the ultimate purpose, when you have already accepted Supreme Lord, so what is mentioned over here? Even if you don't follow the rituals, you are saved, you are protected. What other they see? What is mentioned? Devarshi, Deva. Deva means Devata, demigods. We are indebted to demigods. Why we are indebted? Demigods? What they are doing for us? We are indebted.
Water, air.
They are providing water, sun god, providing light, sunlight. Have you received any kind of bill from sun god? Electricity bill, light bill? No? So sun god we are indebted. Similarly, different demigods, they are responsible, they are providing us light, water, different things, air, fire, different things. So we are indebted. Devarshi, Rishi. We are indebted to all the sages. How? Where from we are getting these scriptures, guidance? Rishis, right? Ved Vyasa. He gave us all the Vedas, Puranas. So we are indebted because we are receiving knowledge from them. Devarshi Bhuta Apta. Bhuta means the living entities. Not only human beings, even a macro, which is there, a germ which is there in earth, we are indebted to those germs also. How? They are making the mud fertile, and because of their support we are getting those grains, crops. So understand, so much detail, so much depth. We never bother about these living entities. Every living entity in this cosmos, they are playing a role in our life. Right? So we are indebted to all kinds of living entities. And we are just, for the taste, we are killing them. We are not authorized at all. That's a sinful activity. So they are playing a role. Devarshi Bhutapta. Nirnam. Nirnam means human beings. We are indebted. Nirnam. Let me see. Demigods, sages, living entities, family members. Nirnam. Family members. This is very clear, right? All other family members, they are playing a big role in our life. So we are indebted for them. Family members. Humankind or forefathers, even the ancestors who are not in body right now, they are also playing a role. So we have some responsibility towards them as well. That's why Pindadan is there. So at least we can give them some prasadam to get them delivered. So this is a process. So we have to fulfill our responsibility towards all these different kinds of personalities. So if we start doing individually, then the whole day we will be engaged in these activities only, right? So now what Narad Muni is saying, such obligations are automatically fulfilled by performance of devotional service to the personality of Godhead. Na kinkaro nayam rini cha rajan. Rini means you are not indebted now. Simply, what you have to do? Sarvat manaya saranam saranyam. Sarvat mana. Fully, what you have to do? Fully you have to take shelter of the Lord. Sarvat manaya saranam saranyam. One who is the deliverer of the mankind, or deliverer, giver of the liberation. Mukunda. Mukunda means Krishna. One who gives us liberation. If we simply take shelter of Krishna, then we are no more obliged towards all these. I mean, automatically, like every time I give an example, when you water the root, then the branches and twigs and leaves, they will be enlivened, they will be nourished. Similarly, because Krishna, all these personalities, they are part and parcel of Krishna. Demigods, sages, human beings, all living entities, they are part and parcel of Krishna. So if we simply take shelter of Krishna, and Krishna on behalf of us will take care of them. Is it an easy process? Can we follow this? Because individually doing all kinds of ritual in this age of Kali Yuga is very, very difficult. Even if we are able to do, will not get perfection. Will not get perfection out of it. Limited age and so much of contamination in everything, right? So the best process is to take shelter of Krishna. Because when we do devotion, the purpose is fulfilled. So anything and everything when we do, we must know the source and purpose. Unfortunately, people do not consider this, source and purpose. If these 2 points we are clear with, that will bring perfection of life. So source of everything is Krishna. We are part and parcel of Krishna. So this is our responsibility, this is our duty. Duty is to serve Krishna. Just like river. What do you see in river? Sun evaporates the water, makes it a cloud. Again in monsoon season, what do we see? The water again coming down, again going to the river, and the source of river is getting merged to ocean, right? So that this process is going on. The river is connected to the source, finally serving the source means ocean. See, the river is falling down into ocean, and from ocean again the sun is evaporating the water, cloud coming down and again getting into the rivers, and rivers again going to ocean. Similarly, we are part and parcel of Krishna, and we have to take shelter of Krishna. We have to serve Krishna. This is our constitutional position. So source is Krishna, and serving Krishna is our constitutional position. Jivere Swarup hoye Krishnera Nitya Das. We are all servant of Krishna. Sometimes when I use this word is being mentioned over here again and again. Servant, when we mention servant, most of the time people don't accept it. No, I am not servant. Servant means any kind of relation you have. Service is integral part of that loving relationship. Service is integral part of that. Servant doesn't mean you are being exploited, like we have the mentality in this material world. Servant means somebody who is subordinate, somebody we are exploiting. Not like that. Service is an integral part of any of the relation. If we have loving relation with mother, we have loving relations with husband or wife, then service is integral part. You cannot say that, no, I love you, but I will not serve you. Right? If your husband coming to your place, from office, he is coming to home and asking for a glass of water, and you say, no, I cannot do that, but I love you. Is it love? Is it love? No. So love means service. Service. Loving relationship. That's why everywhere you will say loving devotional service. So when devotion means service. So what is the responsibility of leaders in society? The leaders, either political leaders or a leader in family, their responsibility is to make sure that every family member, they are in Krishna conscious. They are Krishna conscious, they are God conscious. And that's why the leader of the family, they should facilitate their children in such a way that they become God conscious. As per Srimad Bhagavatam, Guru na sasyat, janani na sasyat, means one is not supposed to become a guru, or one is not supposed to become a father or mother or teacher. I mean, guru is teacher. Even a demigod, one is not supposed to become means any kind of leader if he or she cannot deliver the subordinates from the miseries of the cycle of birth and death. This is the statement of Srimad Bhagavatam. We are not supposed to become father if we cannot deliver the subordinates, our children, from the miseries of cycle of birth and death. That is the topmost responsibility. Of course, being in this material world, whatever different responsibilities we have, giving them food, shelter, education, that is our duty. But let's not forget the ultimate prime duty, giving them God consciousness, Krishna consciousness. Because only without taking shelter of Krishna, we cannot get delivered from this material world. Devi yesham gunamai mama maya duratya. Because this Maya Shakti, we have heard, is very difficult to conquer. Only when we take shelter of Krishna, then we can deliver, we can cross over. We can very easily cross over this material pool. So that is the responsibility of leader. And how we can do that? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, yad yad acharati srishtas tat tad evataro jana. Whatever leader does, ordinary people, they simply follow. So this is our responsibility. First responsibility is towards self. If we follow the system, if we follow a God-conscious life, then automatically our subordinates, they will observe and they will follow. So it's not like now I know what I have to do, so I have to go and just instruct. No. First, we have to start. Being a leader of the society, being a leader of the family, every individual is a leader. Even father is a leader, mother is a leader. She is leading the home. So it's a responsibility of every individual first to become Krishna conscious and give this Krishna consciousness to others. And Prabhupada, at the last shloka of the sentence he is mentioning, he's saying, such leaders are called blind, and the persons who follow such leaders are sure to be led into chaos. Blind leads to blind. Blind leaders are blind. They don't know what to do, what not to do. They don't know the religious principles. And if we follow such leaders, what will be the result of such following? We will also go to the ditch, right? Srila Prabhupada used to give an example, a small story to understand it. So there was a person in a village, he was crying, weeping and crying. His head was shaved. And another man passing through just could see the person crying. He went to the person and said, "What happened? Why are you crying?" So he said, "Don't you know? You know what happened?" He said, "Sarva Singh has died." So this person, because he said in such a, he so confidently, he said, "Sarva Singh died," or "Sarva Singh has dead," whatever. Huh? So he thought must be some known personality. And just to reciprocate, he also shaved his head. He also started crying. And when he was going to he was an army person, just going to his village. And when he entered in his village, all the villagers, they could see he's crying, weeping. His head was shaved. So they asked, "What happened? Why are you crying?" So he said, "You don't know." "No, Daddy, Sarva Singh has died." So all these villagers thought, "Oh my God, Sarva Singh is dead." So all the villagers, they had shaved their head, and all of them were crying and weeping. So the king's army, they were just going through. These army people, they could see all the villagers, they had shaved their head and crying. So they also inquired, "What happened? Why you all are crying like this? Don't you know? Sarva Singh has died. Huh? Is no more. So these army people thought, my God, all the villagers, they have shaved their head, they are crying. They also did the same. Finally, when king, just came to know about it, all the soldiers, they have shaved their head, they are crying. He inquired, saying, what happened? Why are you crying? So soldiers said, oh king, you don't know? What happened? Sarva Singh has died. So even king thought, oh my God, because he thought must be some big personality, and he ordered all his ministers, yes, we should all save our head and we should all reciprocate, we should all cry and weep. Then one minister, he's asked, but who is Sarva Singh? So the king said, you don't know? Then that minister was a bit loyal, very humble. He said, no, I don't know who is Sarva Singh. The king said, even I don't know. Let's inquire. So he sent the minister, just go and inquire who is this Sarva Singh. So he went to the army people, all the soldiers. He said, who is Sarva Singh? Why you are crying? Yeah, you don't know. Yeah, no. You know? Yeah, no, even we don't know. We could see the villagers, they were crying, and so let's go to the villagers. And they approached villagers also, they said, no, even we don't know. So I got to know from that army person. So they approached that person. And meanwhile, on the way, the same person where from this story started, he was there sitting in a corner crying, weeping. So the minister went to that place and he said, why are you crying? And don't you know Sarva Singh has died? Okay, I know, but who is Sarva Singh? He was very dear to me. I am a washerman. He was carrying my clothes. Huh? He was very loving to me. He was my donkey. His name was Sarva Singh, and he died. Getting the point? Who was Sarva Singh? Donkey. So without knowing, this is called blind leads to blind. Just without knowing, without understanding the source, without understanding the purpose, whatever is there in society, somebody with their mental concoction, whatever they are. As I give you example, like chocolate day, hug day, this day, that day, without understanding the purpose, just following blindly. So many things we can observe. Anyway, not to criticize, ultimately whatever is the purpose, but we have to understand that we have to not just, we have to follow the scriptures, we have to understand it. People promoting, if you have lots of money, if you have lots of sense enjoyment, if you have, you go to discotheque, you go to all sorts of material activities, you'll be happy. And blindly we are following. Even in spite of having experienced that all these things not giving us happiness, that is just flickering happiness. And that happiness leads to so many miseries in life. Right? So many rich people, big people, they are not happy, they are not satisfied in spite of all kinds of things. So much technological advancement, development, everything we see. These things are not bad. Again and again I repeat it. This is not bad because it's all about utility. Because not understanding the source and purpose. Why we are doing all these things, if we do not understand the purpose of it, then it will lead to chaos. And that we are seeing in society happening. In spite of so much of advancement, so much of chaos is there. So being the leader of the family, leader of the society, this is our responsibility to understand it. And journey begins at home, no? What is that? Charity begins at home. So we have to understand the value of this life. We have to understand how we can make this life successful, meaningful, purposeful, taking guidance from the Supreme Authority, not from here and there. from supreme authority. This is our prime responsibility. So hearing the Lord, understanding His message in a right way, and following those instructions to make our life successful and help others to make their life successful. Right? So that is the objective. So we'll end over here. Time is up. So this is the fourth reason Arjuna is giving. All different consequences. All different consequences. Right? Elderly people will be killed. No religion will be there. Women will be exploited. Unwanted progeny will take place. And because of unwanted population, there will be chaos in society. War, pestilence, right? Pestilence, plague, corona. Can we relate? See the root behind. All these consequences of sinful activities. In the last session we discussed about it.
We said in 39 shloka, we said the elderlies are required to for guidance and for other things, right? To establish the principles. And but Arjuna के case में तो elderlies के सामने सब कुछ हुआ था, Draupadi was destroyed. So how do we justify that purport?
This is a general principle. It doesn't mean all elderly people will follow the religion. It's a general principle.
Factor.
Of course. It's not like elderly people, they are advanced in spirituality or they are advanced in knowledge. It's a general understanding that this is a responsibility of the family leader, that they should understand the religion and they should make it sure that every individual, they are following the rules and regulations. Because ultimately these rules and regulations for advancement. That is the point over here.
Age is not guaranteed.
Even age
is not guaranteed.
Age is also not guaranteed. Yes. So, any other question?
Even if we see the
Sorry.
Bhishma took the vow to protect the person who is on the throne, or to protect the throne or the kingdom.
Yes.
But then, if something wrong was happening, he should have given his मैं out कि मेरे को ये करना, मैंने ये वचन लिया है तो मैं उसको गलत है या सही है वो करूँगा ही.
Yeah, that's
अगर वो
all.
नहीं, अगर हटा देते, वो अपना मैं निकाल देते कि मेरे को अपना वचन निभाना है, then he could have stopped whatever misery or wrong was happening.
Yes, from that angle, of course, because every individual, every individual, they are following some dharma, and according to that dharma, if you see, he is correct. From a different angle, if we see, that was wrong. Like in Varnashram only, like Brahmachari, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, they have different religion, different rules and regulations, right? Like in a grihastha life, in a family life, you can be associated with the women. Like family life means you have accepted a wife, but for a sannyasi, associating with the women is a big crime. In a family life, women is allowed, but in sannyasi life, women is not allowed. So individual varna, individual religion, from his point of view, that is one side we see that is correct, and another side we see that is incorrect. But the point overall, following different religion is ultimately being in grihastha or a sannyasi or a vanprastha, whatever different, the purpose is one. Ultimately everybody is practicing to become Krishna conscious.
Prabhuji, when this is there were four religions.
Yes.
Now they have been subdivided. They were subdivided in the prior times, or now they have been.
No. All these are man-made, concocted, different segregations.
Even in Brahman, there are many high caste Brahmins, low caste Brahmins, and all these kinds.
See, even in that also, if we see different category, like students, either a student of second class or a student of graduate class, maybe master class, graduate class. They are all known as student, but different categories are there. Primary, secondary.
These were made after.
So maybe even Brahmins are there, and in Brahmins also we see different categories. Even the spiritualist, if you see, different categories are there. Even in sannyasis, different categories are there. Bahudaka, Kutichaka, Paribhajakacharya, Sannyas, different categories are there. But the point is, they have some Brahminical rules and regulations, they have some practices they are doing, and that they are very much clear with the purpose, that why they are practicing, for finally to advance, to elevate, graduate in their practices, and to achieve the final perfection of life. Similarly, in Grihastha life, the rules and regulations, the same objective. Objective is same, either a sannyasi or a grihastha. By doing your prescribed duties, you will achieve the same perfection as a sannyasi. Like all these Arjuna and all, they were grihastha, family man.
But they were not one, they didn't have only one wife, they had multiple wives. So, like Ram had.
This is another question, yes.
No, she's got a very valid
So
point, but the
Ram had set an example of being a one woman
Yes,
man. But
yes.
then later on, all of them had like 7, 8 wives, and then so that is
Before
this-
him also Dasharatha had.
so on one side we are teaching that we should follow this,
the Grihastha
Yes.
and on the other side
Let's-
this is.
Let's understand this. No, got it. So far as marriage with, what do you call it, polygamy? No, this is whatever.
Polygamy.
Yes. All these are different in different social system. Like for Kshatriyas, it is allowed. Again, when you go in detail, you will see kings. They were authorized to marry many wives, many queens. Right? So all these are details. I'm just trying to understand the context. If it comes to not number of wives, but when it comes to chastity, or we are talking about, the chastity is one quality which is mentioned over here. Even Chanakya Pandit, he says that Brahmana, the beauty of a Brahmana is knowledge or his austerity. The beauty of a family person is in giving donation. This is the beauty of a family person, Grihastha. And beauty of a woman is her chastity. Chastity means loyalty towards husband. And there are many examples, chaste wives. They can do, means they are very powerful, very potent spiritually. And many examples we see in scriptures. And many names are there like Sita, Draupadi, Gandhari, Savitri. They are the examples of chaste wives, right? And this chastity has lots of potency. So it's not about how many wives are there, that's altogether a different question. Even Draupadi's name is into
Loyalty
chastity.
is loyalty,
But that's-
whether it is from a man's side or from a
Yes,
woman's
both
side.
sides.
Yeah.
Loyalty is, when we say women, of course, because this topic is very much related to women, that's why.
But even for Draupadi, she had 5.
Yes, that's what I said. It's not about number, because that's a different context altogether, and she's having 5 husbands. The story is totally different behind that. But the point here is of chastity means loyalty. If you see Gandhari, or you see Mandodari, Mandodari is also known as very chaste lady. She is a queen of a demoniac person, Ravana, but she is known as very chaste wife. So here chastity means loyalty. Now when it comes to the current scenario, most of the time it happens like when we speak about this topic, people say even if husband is not following the dharma, though extreme examples are there, we cannot become example like that. Of course, we have to understand the gist and understand the significance of being chaste. We cannot follow those extreme examples. Srila Prabhupada even giving so many extreme examples in his scriptures that even the husband, he is totally following wrong path, but wife, she was always dedicated and loyal to the husband, and because of her chastity, because of her loyalty, she changed that person. Yes. I mean, but
Opposite example of this?
sorry.
Do we have an opposite example of this where the woman was not, but the man changed or something?
Ideally,
No, of
it
course.
should be that way.
No, that's
We
it.
don't have any examples.
We will find different examples, but here, like we were talking about, these are the great qualities of women. Are very, you see, divine qualities, tolerance, chastity. I mean, these are not ordinary qualities. Men have less tolerance power. No, but you see women, they are very tolerant, doing their household activities, managing even outside of activities, taking care of kids, so many things they are doing, but still they are patient.
But despite all that, here they write, they are not trustworthy.
No, that's what I told you, that this is the statement of Chanakya Pandit, and I
This is
very
not
clearly,
Gita. Gita is not saying that.
very clearly I said, let me come to that point. Very clearly I said,
Put it there.
no, yeah, of course, that is an example. Again, that's what I said. When we see any statement, just not words, but we have to see the context and we have to understand the spirit behind that. If we do not understand the spirit, that's why people see in the name, because of not understanding the spirit behind that, they fight in the name of words, or whatever statement they are getting, they just fight. We see in society, that is what happening. Externals, in the name of externals, they are fighting. We have to understand the spirit behind it. So here, this statement, Chanakya Pandit, in sense of, because he is into politics, and from political point of view, he is giving that view, because most of the kings earlier, they were defeated just with the help of a woman. They were defeated just with the help of a woman. Even most of the time, even kings, they were killed with the help of a woman. Even today's scenario also you will see. Big projects, I'm not getting into detail, but I'm telling you, just they use women to get their job done. Unscrupulous people. That's what it is being mentioned over here. That women are, because nature is very, they are very, I mean, this further lots of detail is there, but very easily they are exploited. I'll give you so many facts, even newspaper in modern time you see. Not to, I don't use those examples, but if you see the ground reality, you will be shocked. People promoting night jobs, call center jobs. I don't want to use such kind of example because many of us working in night shifts. But if you see the ground reality, do you see all those girls working in night, they are safe? They are able to maintain their chastity in such kind of atmosphere wherein very easily, in my office when I was working, I could see, because the kind of culture has been promoted, they are very free to drink. They are very free to mingle with all sorts of boys, drinking, alcohol. Even, I remember in my office time, many girls, they were so open in the name of so-called modernization. When I was asking them, why do you take alcohol? You should not take that. And she used to, even my father takes, I take with my father. Means in the name of modernization, I drink with my father. So a person who is drinking, going to discotheque, dancing, or all sorts of nonsense activities you know about. So do you think they will be safe? They will not be exploited? I mean,
See, anything in excess is bad.
yes.
So
That's what.
if anything done in limits, it's you cannot call it modernization.
No, I'm
Modern
not.
culture.
I'm not saying. That's why I said this is very
No,
critical
I
and
also think it's the same thing is true for men as well.
yes.
So
Here
they
no,
also go
that's
through
true.
the
That's
text
true.
and-
So men and women both. The point, I'm really thankful to you. Let's not focus on only women because
Yes.
the topic is related to that. It's not that it's criticism.
The thing is,
Divine
there's
position.
no-
Otherwise, if you see, even in spiritual management, in this cosmos, the whole universal management, most of the big post is given to the women. Financial department, who is holding? Lakshmi, Durga, she is the administrator of this material world. Knowledge, Saraswati. All these are big departments. Anybody having knowledge, administrative power, all the wealth. So do you see? It's not to criticize, it's to understand, either men or women. This is at physical platform. Now Varnashram system is at physical platform, understand? Because we have already understood spiritual and material consciousness. So this physical Varnashram system is at physical platform. Physical platform is based on the bodily platform. Because as I told you, spiritually we are one. We are all parts and parcel of God. We are soul. Right? But physical differences will always be there. A man cannot, scientifically, logically, we can manipulate things. Like even, I got to know that even men are producing child. But that is not natural. Have you heard it? Even through medical science or whatever kind of modification or they are doing. But in general, female body, that is meant for a purpose. Male body, different strength, different qualities are there. So at physical platform, that is what we are learning from this scripture, that there are some rules and regulations. One should take care of that to lead a better way of life. Otherwise that will lead to so many chaos in society. And that is very much visible in front of our eyes in societies. So it's not about, men are strong, men are, they are top or they are superior. It's not like that. As I said, in a system, all different classes of men required. Family means all different kind of people coming together to meet with the purpose. So we have to understand and appreciate, accept and appreciate the importance of every individual. So if you go deeper into this Vedic scripture, what they are talking about? They are really talking about much love and care for women. Means women in family, they have very, very important role. She is the first teacher. Mother is the first teacher. Whatever, because most of the time children are with mother. And that's why it is recommended and suggested that all the leaders, they must take care. And what leaders are doing right now, you see even the leaders, political leaders, are they promoting religion? You see liquor houses increasing day by day. Every step you will see liquor houses. Slaughterhouses increasing day by day because they get lots of revenue from there. And they don't bother at all what is going to be the consequences of it. They just concerned with their vote, and they are just concerned with their money, resources. They don't at all bother about it. And I got to know government just announcing that now don't worry because people coming at liquor houses, they fight, so there will be home delivery. Don't worry. Have you heard it?
Yes.
Delhi government, they are promoting. So now you're getting liquor at your home. What kind of culture do you expect from such kind of society? Not following rules and regulations or doing all sorts of. Yes. So this is what we have to very broad. Of course, we have a kind of. So we have to. That's what we are studying this. We have to have a broad mindset now. Understand this system is not to exploit. In this culture, even more love and care is there, more affection is there, more protection is there. So that is the point. Okay.
Prabhuji, I have a point.
Please.
See, even in Mahabharata, the way it is actually done is they have these contradictions
Yes.
which are brought out. See, Karna was not in the caste system in Kshatriya.
Yes.
Right?
Very
But
good.
he was allowed to fight and he was a Maharathi.
Yes.
Now that if you go by that Rudivadi, right, it was totally against. Shikhandini, right, she was, or she or he, whatever you call her,
Yes.
right, she was a warrior, again a Maharathi.
Yes.
Right? And as per if you go by just these caste systems, they were not allowed. So even actually Mahabharata
Yes,
brings out
that's
these
what
things
they
very
are.
clearly.
That's what they are. And that's what I'm saying. All these are not accepted.
Karma is actually, again, Gita is always talking of karma. You are defined by what you do,
Yes.
and not the way you are born, whether
Yes.
you are born a male or a female.
Yes.
So today's society, even if you're born as a female, if your actions are, should have been male, right? So many.
Yes.
So then you are actually a male, right? Because if you're going out and fighting, see today in the world militaries, see Russia won the World War II only because the women were 70% of the fighters were women.
Yes.
Right? This is something very strange. That they fought, they went to the fields and fought. So they were not women at that time, feminine by this definition. They were actually masculine by that definition.
And nature, activities.
Right? By action is where we are defined, whether we
Yes.
are a man or a woman or whatever. Right?
Yes.
So that is what this world is coming to. So that's
Yes.
my understanding. I don't know.
No, that's true. It's actually, as I again and again I'm repeating that our actual position is we are soul, right? We have been put into a different kind of body, and body has some limitations, some qualities, right? And what it is suggested that one should act as per the quality given, nature given. In that situation, you will always be happy, satisfied, and you will contribute. But exceptions are always there. It's not like women cannot do what men can do. It's not like that. Even we can see even women are more powered. They are doing so much, doing job and everything. Everything is they are doing that. But it is an ideal situation in Vedic culture. Now this topic very much now in this practical scenario, now in this current scenario, because this Vedic culture is not existing. Everything topsy-turvy, not going as per this system. So now the right understanding in this point of time is, because our family responsibility has been increased, maybe one person working, not sufficient to maintain the family. So women has to go out and work. It doesn't mean that now will not work. It's not like that. Utility is the principle. Based on the time, place and circumstances, whatever is the thing, whatever we are doing, that is okay. But understanding this subject that whatever we are doing, the end purpose is to be connected to the Supreme Source. Understanding the purpose why we are doing this. So this understanding will help. And that's why Prabhupada mentioned this, the quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam, that even if we are not able to follow based on because of the time, place and circumstances, what we have to do, yad karosi yad asnasi yad juhosi dadasi, whatever we are doing, whatever responsibilities, duties, go on with that, but keep Krishna in center. Become Krishna conscious. That is easy? So that is what the process given over here. Because all these rituals, different things, in this point of time, it's very difficult to follow. Whatever little bit we can follow, because ultimately this is meant to help us to grow in Krishna consciousness, to come in mode of goodness, right? So whatever small rituals we can follow, not all, we should do that, right? I hope it is clear.
When we talk about polygamy or anything in our system, whether it's Dashrath or Krishna or whatever, I think it never was out of lust.
Yes, that nice point.
It was just the need of that hour to protect someone or to maybe get a child if one wife is not able to give you a successor.
Very nice point, in fact.
So
all these things.
In any of our sculptures or anywhere, if we see whether it's Draupadi or Dashrath or anyone, we talk about it.
Very
it's
nice
not
point,
out
in
of
fact.
lust.
Yes. See
it's
the
just
purpose.
out of the necessity at that point of time.
It was very nice point.
It was
Very
to follow
nice.
dharma actually.
Yeah,
It was
dharma.
It's for dharma. Yeah, it's
For the higher
Even
purpose.
Draupadi having 5 husbands, which was not heard of till then, was actually following dharma.
Correct.
It was not out of lust. That is very nice. I'm really thankful to you. Such a wonderful concept. Yes. Thank you, sir. Yes. So, Mataji's, yes, especially, don't mind. All these are discussions just to come to a right platform, right understanding. And
We don't follow discrimination.
yes. Yes, please. Namaste Narasimhaya. Praladadayine. Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha. Shilatankana Kanaye. Ito Narsingha Parato Narsingha. Yato yato yami tato Narsingha. Bahir Narsingha Hirdaye Narsingha. Bahir Narsingha Hirdaye Narsingha. Narasingamadim Sharanam Prapade. Narasingamadim Sharanam Prapade. Tava Kara Kamala Pare Nakha Adbhuta Shringham Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubhingam Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Nrsimhadev 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 Jai Nrsimhadev Jai Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jai Jai Prabhupada 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada Jai Jai Gurudev 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 Jai Jai Gurudev Nrsimha Bhagwan ki Jai Bhakti Prahlad Maharaj ki Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Thank you so much for your active participation. Even Chanakya Pandit's statement, if you see, he is saying, not this statement, another statement, wherein he is saying, who is knowledgeable? Chanakya Pandit giving explanation, Paradareshu Matravat, one who sees others' wife as mother. And that's why you see in our system, what we call other Matajis, apart from wife? Matajis. Right? This is the most respectable word. Honor to the ladies. So this system, Vedic system, is a system of love and care and honor, giving proper respect, not exploiting. It's a defect in the system because of that. Otherwise, system is very pure, very perfect. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.